Chapter 6 Cash Flow Determination 2 and the topic Unequal Life of Project. Chapter Learning Outcome. At the end of this chapter, students should be able to first compute the cash flow of the project, second, develop the managerial skills through decision making of the cash flow. Chapter outline of this chapter. In this chapter, you will learn the three topics where the first one is decision making and the evaluating cost cutting proposal. The second is setting bid price and the last one is projects with different life which is under unequal life. As an introduction of this chapter, the main purpose of this chapter is to help in decision making based on cost cutting strategy. There are two topics available in this chapter. The topics are bid price and unequal life. In this video, it focuses more on topic unequal life of the project, where under this topic, it is a calculations on how you can calculate the amount of cost of the two different projects. And based on the amounts of the cost, you will come out with a decision making to choose the best project. What is unequal life? In unequal life equations, and options of two different projects or assets will be given for decision-making purpose. What is a different project? The project will be different in terms of the cost, the maturity period, and also the characteristics of the two projects. Because of the two projects is different, so that's why it is compulsory for a company to come up with the decision making by choosing the best project or asset. The decision for choosing the best project or asset will be based on the lowest cost effective, meaning that to come up with the decision making, you should choose the project or asset that have the lowest amounts of cost, because if the cost is lower, meaning that the company should not bear with the larger amounts of cost, which is good for the company to choose. And under unequal life, you will calculate equivalent annual cost, which is EAC. Calculate for equivalent annual cost or EAC, there are several lists of formulas that you should know and understand. There are 5 steps for you to calculate the cost. Where the first step, you will calculate depreciation. Where under depreciation, the formula is equal to initial outlay or the project cost divided with the maturity period, which is N. And the second formula is under after-tax salvage value, which is ATSV. And the formulas will be equals to salvage value before tax time with 1 minus tax. And the third formula is on how to calculate operating cash flow, which is OCF. And to calculate for OCF, the formula is equals to negative OC, where the OC represented by operating cost. And if in the equation is not directly given the amounts of operating costs or OC, you can calculate OC by using the formula total sales minus with the total cost. And then based on the formula OCF, which is equal to negative OC, will be time with 1 minus tax and plus with depreciation time with tax. And step number 4, you will calculate net present value, which is NPV. And to calculate for NPV, formulas will be equals to OCF time with PVIFA IN. PVIFA IN will calculate by using financial calculator. Plus with ATRSV time with PVIF IN. I and N represent I represent by required rate of return and N represent by maturity periods of the project. The amounts of I and N will be given in the equation. And then we'll minus with IO, which is initial outlay or the project cost of the asset. And the last one, you will calculate equivalent annual cost, which is EAC, by using the financial calculator. And then to calculate for EAC using financial calculator, here is the command on how you can calculate on financial calculator. Based on the command, it will involve with PV, which is present value, and the information required for PV is NPV, and then IY, which is information required is I, represent required rate of return, and then N, represent by N, which is maturity periods of the project, and then compute PMT, and you will get the answer of EAC. And to start with the calculations on EAC, based on the examples of the questions, Jasa Berhad and Dati Berhad offer shoe machines that can be used for the mass productions of the shoes. So based on this information, there are two companies available, which is Jasa Berhad and also Jati Berhad. Jasa Berhad machines will cost is 320,000. So the cost of the machines here represent by IO, which is the IO for Jasa Berhad is 320,000 to install, and the annual operating cost before tax is RM 10,000. So annual operating cost before tax represent by OC. So the OC given here for Jasa Berhad is RM 10,000. The machine may last for 5 years. So the 5 years here represent by N, which is maturity periods of the machines. On the other hand, Jati Berhad, so the second machines from the company, from the Jati Berhad, cost is 400,000 to install. So cost 400,000 here represent IO or initial outlay of Jati Berhad, with the annual operating cost before tax of RM 5,000. So annual operating cost here represent OC for Jati Berhad equals to 5,000. The machines has to be completely replaced every 6 years. So 6 years here represent N or maturity periods of the machines under Jati Berhad. Assume both machines depreciated to zero using straight line basis over the project life. Okay, so depreciated to zero using straight line basis is the information regarding the depreciation. So you need to calculate the depreciation value for both of the machine. And have salvage value of 12,000. So salvage value 12,000 here represent SV. Next information, the tax rate is given 28%. So the tax rate here represent by T, which is tax information, and the discount rate for Jati Berhad is 13%, while 14% for Jasa Berhad. Discount rate here represent I, which is discounted rate for the Jati is given at 13%. So I for Jati is 13% and I for Jasa Berhad is 14%. And based on information, so the question asks to calculate the equivalent annual cost, which is EAC, for both of the missions. And to answer for that question, it is advisable for you to answer by using table, because from the tables we can easily identify the amount for the two different projects. And based on the information also, we know that the two projects available is the machines that come from Jasa Berhad company and also the machine from the Jati Berhad company. So to calculate for EAC, so at first based on the formulas, we will calculate depreciations, and based on depreciation formulas, it equals to IO, which is initial outlay or the project cost, divided with the maturity period or useful life of the project or machine. So for Jasa Berhad, depreciations will be equals to IO 320,000 divided with maturity period 5 years. So you will get the answer for Jasa Berhad depreciations is 64,000 ringgit, while for Jati Berhad, IO is given at 400,000 with a maturity period of 6 years. So you will get depreciation value equals to 66,666 ringgit and 97 cents. So this is the depreciation for Jati Berhad. And then based on the formulas also, we will calculate after tax salvage value at the second step. So we will calculate ATRP for Jasa Berhad and also Jati Berhad by using the formula salvage value time with 1 minus tax. So for Jasa Berhad, ATSV equals to salvage value 12,000 time with 1 minus tax rate 28%. So 0.28, you will get the answer for TSV is 8,640. And then for Jati Berhad, after tax salvage value equal to salvage value 12,000 time with 1 minus tax 28% also will be equals to 8,640. For ATSB value, the value is both for Jasa and also Jati because the salvage value for both of the equipment from both of the company are same. Okay, and then for the third step, you will calculate operating cash flow, which is OCF, and then based on the OCF formulas, it is equal to negative OC time with 1 minus tax plus with depreciation time with the tax. So for Jasa Berhad, OCF will be equals to negative OC, and OC given for Jasa is 10,000 time with 1 minus tax, 1 minus 0.28 plus with depreciation for Jasa is 64,000 time with the tax rate 28%. So we'll get the answer for OCF and the Jasa is 10,720 ringgit. And then for Jati Berhad, based on the OCF, so negative OC equals to 5,000 since OC is 5,000 ringgit time with 1 minus tax plus with depreciation value 66,666 ringgit and 67 cents time with the tax 0.28. So you will get the answer for OCF and the Jati is 15,066 ringgit and 67 cents. And then continue from that, you will calculate net present value, which is NPV, and the step number 4 for both Jasa and also Jati Berhad. So at first, we will calculate NPV for Jasa Berhad. So to calculate for the NPV, based on the formulas, is OCF time with PVIFA, IN and then plus with ATSV, PVIF, IN and then minus with IO. So to calculate for OCF, PVIFA plus with the ATSV, PVIF. So both calculation for these equations will be calculated by using financial calculator. So at first, we will calculate OCF, PVIFA, IN using financial calculator. So this is the command and also this is the information that required to calculate. So based on the information and also command to calculate for the financial calculator, you will get the answer for OCF, PVIFA, equals to RM 36,802 and 63 cents for Jasa Berhad. And then for Jati Berhad, you will calculate by using the same technique with Jasa Berhad, where we will calculate OCF, PVIFA, IN using financial calculator by using this command and also this information. So you will get the answer for OCF, PVIFA is equals to 60,229 ringgit and 76 cents for Jati Berhad. And then after we calculate OCF, PVIFA, IN, so next we will calculate ATSV, PVIF, IN by using financial calculator, and then to calculate for that equations, so we will use this command and also this information. So you will get the answer 4,487.35 ringgit for Jasa Berhad under ATSV, PVIF, IN. While for Jati Berhad, so you will get the answer 4,149 ringgit and 95 cents for ATSV, PVIF for Jati Berhad by using the same command and also information for calculation on that equation. And then after you calculate OCF, PVIF, AIN and also ATSV, PVIF, IN, so next you can calculate for NPV because based on the formulas of NPV here, so you will calculate the NPV for both Jasa Berhad and also Jati Berhad by add the amounts of OCF, PVIFA plus with SV plus with ATSV, PVIF minus with the IO. So you will get NPV for Jasa Berhad is negative 278,710.02 ringgit. And then for Jati Berhad, you will get the value of NPV is negative value, which is negative RM335,620.96. So it is possible for you to get the amounts of NPV in negative value. So sometimes you can get the answer of NPV, either it is positive value or negative value. So based on this information for Jasa and also Jati, so you get the negative value of NPV. Next, to answer for the questions on how to calculate equivalent annual cost, which is EAC, so you can continue with step number 5 to calculate EAC by using financial calculator. So to calculate EAC by using financial calculator, here is the command that you should follow with the information required. Okay, so at first, for the first command under PV, which is present value, so you should add information regarding NPV that you already calculate in step number 4, and then continue with informations on I represented by discount rate given in the equation, and then command IY, and then for the informations on maturity period, which is N, for Jasa is 5 years, and then the command is N, compute PMT, you will get the answer for EAC. For Jasa Berhad is RM81183.94, represent 81,183 and 64 cents ringgit based on Jasa Berhad. And then for Jati Berhad, it also practice the same calculation where we will calculate EAC by using this command and also this information required. So NPV for Jati is 335,620.29 and then press the buttons of PV and then I is 13, button IY and then N is 6 years. Press the buttons of N in financial calculator and then compute PMT. You will get the answer for Jati Berhad in terms of EAC is 833,000 ringgit 956 and 50 cent. And then for your information, because under EAC, it is measured in terms of the cost of the project or the mission. So when you write the answer of the EAC, you make sure that the answer should be in bracket. Since the bracket here represent the cost, not the negative value of the answer. So to make sure that your answer is correct in terms of EAC, so you should calculate with these amounts of the answer and then you should write up by bracket the answer because bracket here represent the cost of the machines for both of the company, which is Jasa Berhad and also Jati Berhad. Okay, so that is the way on how you should calculate EAC and also the way on how you should write a correct answer of EAC. And then after we calculate the EAC, so the last step, you should come up with a decision making since in the purpose of the calculation is to come up with decision making. So to choose the best equipment for the company to choose. So the decision making should be based on the lowest answer of EAC. So based on the answer of EAC, under Jasa and also Jati, we will compare for the answer and then we can see here that the lower cost is represented by Jasa Berhad. So you should choose Jasa Berhad because lower equivalent annual cost, which is EAC, compared to Jati Berhad. This means Jasa Berhad involved with low cost of production. That's the end of our chapter regarding unequal life. Thank you.